For a long time now, I've wanted to complete the Kanto Pokedex as fast as possible in just one sitting, but there's always been a couple of problems. First of all, version exclusives and trade evolutions. You need two experienced Pokemon gamers who not only live near each other, but also both have Game Boy Advances with different versions of the game and a link cable. But with the re-release of FireRed and LeafGreen on the Switch came an awesome new feature: the ability to trade locally with another nearby player. Finally, my dream was becoming a possibility. Since these are digital re-releases, it's really easy to have two people on two different versions of the game. Plus, this local wireless trade feature now means you also don't need a clunky link cable or any old hardware. The only remaining problem then is to find two experienced Pokemon gamers that live near each other. But luckily, I have a solution for that too. I happen to know somebody that has a ton of experience catching really rare Pokemon in the Generation 3 games, just so happens to have the opposite version of the game than me, and also we live together. So here's the plan. Party Arlie will play Pokemon Leaf Green, and I'll play Fire Red. Together, in just one sitting, we'll complete the Kanto Pokedex as quickly as possible. The goal will be to get my copy of Fire Red, the Diploma. That means registering all 150 Pokemon in the Kanto Regional Dex in my game. So even when Arlie catches the Leaf Green version exclusives in her copy, she still has to trade them over to me so that together we can complete a Pokedex. Now, I'm sure you already have a ton of questions, like, how are we gonna get all three starters in only 2 games? What about all 3 evolutions? Is Mew catchable? How are we going to deal with the Safari Zone quickly? And these are all very fair questions, but I will answer them as we get there. I'm going to be jumping in throughout the run to explain all of the decisions we make as we make them. But this is a long run and it is very difficult. So buckle up, gamers. Let's catch them all. As the run gets started here, the first important thing you'll notice is the 0 out of 150. It should be pretty self-explanatory, but as we catch Pokemon or evolve and register a new Pokemon in the Pokedex, that number will go up. Now, obviously 150 and not 151 means there's no Mew. Unfortunately, at least as I'm recording this, there's no legitimate way to get Mew in Fire Red Leaf Green, even on the Switch re-release. And also, this run doesn't permit glitches, so there truly is no way to get Mew. Luckily though, getting the Diploma and even getting Professor Oak to congratulate you on completing the Pokedex in his lab only requires you to see and register the 150 Pokemon from 0 to 150 and not Mew, so we're totally in the clear. Here at the beginning though, we have our first problem, the starters. There are 3 of them and only 2 of us. Luckily, the solution is actually pretty simple. At the start, I'll pick Squirtle and Arlie will pick Charmander. We'll both play up to the Viridian Pokemon Center where Arlie will trade me the Charmander. We both need a second Pokemon in our parties to be permitted to trade anyway, so I'll pick up Pidgey along the way. After Arlie trades me the Charmander, she'll start her game over from the beginning and choose Bulbasaur this time, thus completing the trifecta. Pretty slick, right? Well, right before we started this run, I had a little idea that I thought would take this big brain play of getting all 3 starters early and make it a massive brain play that could change the course of the run and make it way faster. Why don't we choose the starters the other person wants to use for their run and then trade them to them? We'll need to fully evolve all 3 starters eventually anyway, and the starter Pokemon are generally quite good throughout the game. But the reason this is an interesting idea is that in these games, if you use a traded Pokemon in battle, they gain 1.5 times boosted experience. I figured this would make the battling parts of the run stupidly easy. Arlie wanted to run Blastoise since she had recently done a full run through of the game with the water starter line, and I love Charizard, so I figured why not? I'll pick Squirtle and trade it to her so that she can have an experience boosted tank to speed through the game, and she'll trade me Charmander so that I can quickly clear the game as well, and we'll both gain boosted experience the whole time. And at first glance, this was an incredible idea. From just the first few trainer battles, Charmander was already way higher level than he typically would be in a speedrun setting like this. One small problem though. Traded Pokemon do not always obey you. Starting at level 11, my little fire lizard would start to disobey me. Now, of course, I knew about this obedience mechanic beforehand, but I thought that after you beat Brock, Pokemon up to level 20 obeyed you, and then level 30 at Misty, 40 at Surge, and so on. But nope, that's not how it works. I remembered incorrectly. That's basically how it works in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, the most recent Kanto re-releases, but not in Fire Red Leaf Green, and this is pretty bad. Instead of getting level 20 at Brock and then 10 levels every gym leader or whatever, In FireRed Leaf Green, you get 30 starting at Misty, and then every other gym you get 20 levels, finally capping out all the way to 100 at Giovanni. So that's 30 at Misty, 50 at Erica, 70 at Sabrina, and then the full 9 yards after Giovanni. And this is pretty bad. To make this more possible, while we were already doing this whole thing on the fly, which, yeah, don't know if I mentioned that, instead of routing this all beforehand, we thought it would be way more fun to just test our Pokemon knowledge and just go for it and just route the whole thing on the fly. We were also gonna have to trade our Pokemon back and forth pretty regularly to try to get around this obedience mechanic. This means Arlie is gonna be stuck with the Bulbasaur line really often throughout this video. And trust me when I tell you, that is no good. I don't know what Game Freak was thinking, but the Bulbasaur line really struggles in this game. You have great matchups against Brock, Misty, and Lieutenant Surge, and then you're cooked for basically the rest of the game. Erica, Koga, Sabrina, Blaine, Lorelei, and Lance all have crazy good matchups against the entire line. Leech Seed and the Powder moves are solid options against a lot of difficult fights and will help with catching, but in a speedrun setting, the other two starter lines are just much faster. Something funny about trading is that the switches have to be pretty close to each other to be able to trade successfully, and Arlie's office is just across the hallway, but apparently that's too far. So anytime we had to trade, one of us had to literally get up, take the switch away so there's nothing happening on that person's stream anymore, and walk over and literally stand here while the trade happened, which is hilarious. So yeah, throughout this video, you're gonna see us swapping starter mains pretty frequently, just to get around the obedience thing. This is fully my fault. I thought it would be way faster and it wound up way slower. But also, it's kind of hilarious and chaotic and caused some truly stupid and silly moments, so maybe it's for the best. On the way to Brock, I picked up Weedle and Arlie caught Rattata, but I do want to give you a taste of this disobedience, so enjoy this.
My grind for Deoxys was I had no money.
Okay, now Bulbasaur is going to start disobeying. I just hit 11 against Brock.
Uh-oh.
I need you to lock in, Bulbasaur. Oh my god, wait, I used Vine Whip? We're fine. Okay, I'm glad I got Vine Whip.
In.
I have my first badge. Also, the boosted experience goes crazy. I am already level 13.
He locked in. He locked in.
I tried to fake out Charmander by selecting Scratch instead of Ember. No, this is so bad. Okay, the only reason I thought this was a good idea was because I thought you got 20 at Brock. This is very bad.
No, it adds some fun. That's some drama.
Okay, then I'm definitely going to be avoiding as many optionals as
avoid
possible,
trainers.
which sucks, but it is what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna select Scratch, and we'll see if maybe he ignores orders and selects Ember. Oh my god, he won't even attack anymore. No, he's using Growl! Damn it! Not the crit! Oh my god, I just lost to a Caterpie, bro. So anyway, we figured it was best to trade back for a while until we beat Misty. Using the boosted levels Arlie had gotten on Squirtle, I quickly evolved it into Wartortle, and then upon entering Mount Moon a bit later, I caught everyone's favorite ever-present bat. Similarly, Arlie evolved Bulbasaur into Ivysaur, and then we both continued our journeys through Mount Moon. I luckily caught Paris pretty quickly, while Arlie got Geodude. Also in Mount Moon, I found the first of many rare candies hidden throughout the Kanto region. These are, as you might expect, pretty important for this run. So important, in fact, that I made a tab in the spreadsheet Arlie and I were using to roughly track our catches, specifically for the locations of every rare candy in the game. And the reason this is so important is because there are some Pokemon in the Kanto regional decks that evolve really, really late, and even just having a few rare candies is gonna massively cut down on the evolution grinding we have to do later. I'm looking at you, Dragonite. Soon thereafter, still on the first floor of Mount Moon as like my second or third overall encounter, I found the 1% Clefairy. After battling through the rockets in Mount Moon and defeating the Super Nerd, I grabbed the Dome Fossil. You can only choose one of these per playthrough, but luckily, there are two of us. This means Arlie will snag the Helix Fossil, thus ensuring we've got both of them. Hey there, just checking in on you. How you doing? We got a good number of the Pokemon registered. We're getting that Dex number up, which is great. But you need to get a different number up. This is a tremendously bad segue. Please subscribe. Do it. Subscribe to me, and also please subscribe to Arlie, because her channel is amazing and she has tons of amazing Pokemon videos as well, and you'll love both channels. And please subscribe. If you've enjoyed this video, I think we've earned it. Please do it. Do it now. Do it now. Just outside Mount Moon, I picked up Spearow and got my second rare candy in Cerulean. Meanwhile, Arlie then caught the first of our many version exclusives in Sandshrew. I want to explain something that I feel like I haven't touched on in quite a while on my channel, but I need to explain it in this video because you're going to be seeing it a lot. That little light bulb icon that you sometimes see fade in on the screen before sped up sections begin, that's a photosensitivity indicator. I like to use that to indicate to any photosensitive viewers that a sped up section is about to begin. I usually fade it in like 5 or so seconds before the sped up footage starts. I also darken and slightly blur sped up footage to further help with any photosensitivity. But again, if you see that light bulb show up and you're a photosensitive viewer, just know that a section is about to start that maybe wouldn't be the best for you. The next big hurdle we faced was the Nugget Bridge rival fight. This fight is genuinely pretty tough for how early on in the game it is, and we really struggled here, especially because of the starter problem that, again, I caused. Sorry, Arlie. This took an embarrassingly long time for both of us, with Arlie even electing to beat Misty first just to get the level cap higher for obedience, and then I traded her the Wartortle, which made her life much easier. My fight was tough, but she was trying to win with Ivysaur, which again, I reiterate, sucks. After beating the rival though, we get access to Nugget Bridge, and here at the end of Nugget Bridge, there's a pretty cool thing you can do in the English releases of FireRed and LeafGreen. The Team Rocket trainer at the end of the bridge, he gives you a nugget before you battle him. So if you go into his battle with like a really weak Pokemon, like a Weedle or a Caterpie or something at a low level, you'll quickly lose, be able to go back to him and get another nugget. You can do this infinitely until you decide to beat him, and obviously this is a speedrun, so we want to not do this for too long, but I figured it was probably useful given how many Pokeballs, Great Balls, and Ultra Balls we're going to need to buy throughout this run, not even to mention the Game Corner stuff we're going to have to do later, so we're going to need a lot of money throughout this run, so I figured it would probably be worthwhile for both of us to at least stay here for a couple of minutes and get a few of these things, and then ultimately beat him and move on. After doing a little bit of that money grinding, I caught Oddish before struggling a lot with my disobedient Ivysaur against Misty. I used Vine Whip 3 times in a row! Wait. I have some guys I could heal if I need to. Okay. I used Vine Whip 4 times in a row! Oh my god! Ivysaur, I take it all back. We're so back. Even though I already had Weedle, I decided to catch a higher level Kakuna here on Route 24 instead of just evolving my Weedle, because it'd be easier to evolve my new Kakuna into Beedrill rather than try to evolve my low level Weedle twice. I also caught Caterpie and then started looking for the elusive Abra. Okay, there's the Abra. Let's hit this sleep powder, please. Okay. Now let's throw a Pokeball. I caught Abra. That is huge. Do you need a second Abra to get the Mr. Mime trade? Oh, you do need 2 Abras, yeah. Well, there's another Abra. Let's just get the sleep powder again. The daycare south of Cerulean does not breed Pokemon. Well, I caught a second Abra immediately, so we're fine. Problem solved. Not much later after that, I caught my first Meowth. And as for why I said first Meowth, you'll see. Arlie then had a really smart idea to deal with our current starter problem. If you use a repel trick in Diglett Cave, it's not too difficult to run into a pretty high level Dugtrio. So she caught a Dugtrio and then started using it to beat battles that were tough with whatever starter she was currently stuck with. Meanwhile, I caught Diglett in the same cave and then traded my Spearow to Alyssa in Vermilion City for Chiding the Farfetch'd. There are quite a few Pokemon in Fire Red Leaf Green that you can only get via trading with NPCs, so I have to be sure I don't miss any of those. Arlie then headed to the SS Anne to make quick work of the rival, grab Cut, and then head to the Lieutenant Surge fight with Dugtrio in tow.
Okay, this fight was so easy. I was really worried about this Raichu. Holy moly.
But while she did that, I was catching more Meowths. And the reason for this is pretty simple. Pickup. If you have a Meowth anywhere in your party and you win a battle, Meowth's pickup ability has a 10% chance to pick up a random item from a set table of items. If we look at that table, we can see that if we do pick up an item, it has a 5% chance to be a rare candy. And like I said before, we need as many candies as we can get. Multiplying 10% with 5%, or 0.1 times 0.05, gives 0.005, which is 0.5%, or 1 in 200. That means every time I finish a battle with Meowth in my party, I have a 1 in 200 chance to get a rare candy. I figured if I filled my team with 5 Meowths and then whatever my main was at the front, that meant that after every battle, I had 5 chances at a 1 in 200. Surely I'd get a rare candy eventually, right? Well, using the binomial distribution, we can sum over the possibilities of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 candies after a given battle and find it to be about 2.48%. This is roughly the odds you'd expect, since if you just did back of the napkin math on this instead and just added the 5 chances of 0.5% together, you'd get almost the same result at 2.5%. That's not exactly correct, but it's a decent approximation. So after every battle, I have roughly a 2.5% chance to get a rare candy. Not great odds, but not terrible when you consider just how many battles I'll be getting into. And for my first battle with my full team of 5 Meowths, I had the singular joy of going through an Ivysaur mirror match on my rival, which just watch it.
It lived? No, stop using sleep powder and hitting me every time.
Our first pickup, it's an Oranberry. Meanwhile, Arlie was heading to Rock Tunnel, and since we were nearing the current level 30 cap on obedience, we traded our starters back, and she also traded me Sandshrew so that I could register it to my Dex since it's exclusive to her game. She then caught Mankey, and I had some more pickups to check. Ooh, we've got 2 pickup candidates. Will we get a rare candy? Persimberry and Cherryberry. Look, I'm not mad about a Cherryberry, to be fair. Along my way through Rock Tunnel, I caught Onyx, which frankly, I should have waited to do. Onyx is 5% here in Rock Tunnel, whereas in Victory Road later, it's like 40%. This is one of the small problems that crops up a couple of times in this run. I or Arlie catch a Pokemon or evolve a Pokemon that we should have just waited to do until later, because a later game area has the Pokemon we need to get at either a much higher percentage, or the second stage that we evolved into exists later in the game as a wild Pokemon, so we don't need to waste our time leveling something up. But this is part of the problem when you decide to do a run with no routing beforehand and just go off knowledge of the game. But also, again, it was more fun this way. As Arlie headed into Celadon City to get the tea for the thirsty guards throughout Kanto that are somehow just going to share one small cup, I caught my first version exclusive Growlithe west of Lavender, and then Arlie evolved Ivysaur into Venusaur. I then got the Fly HM for quick traversal, and Arlie beat the Rocket hideout in the basement of the Celadon game corner. I then went to the route east of the Fly HM, Route 16, and caught Raticate to complete the Rattata line, and then I also caught Doduo, which is going to become my first Fly user. I don't get it either, but yeah, no wings on that guy, at least in the sprite, but anyway, as I made my way to Saffron City, you might realize that we're quite a ways into this thing and only have 27 Pokemon registered. The answer as to why that is that we're trying to get through the main game semi-quickly while also catching the stuff we do happen to see, and while also setting ourselves up for some later annoying catches at the same time. But don't worry, if our seemingly bad progress is bothering you, it was also bothering some really pedantic Twitch chatters too. How are you only on 27 and you started 3 hours ago? How about you shut your mouth? How about you zip it, bro?
We're just trying to speed run through the game before we catch stuff. Is that so hard? Is that so hard to understand?
Pickups, Persimberry, Asperberry, Cherryberry. Okay, it's not going great, I'll say it. As Arlie worked to defeat our rival in Pokemon Tower, I evolved Wartortle into Blastoise after defeating Giovanni in the Rocket Hideout. She then did manage to beat the rival, which after she gets the Pokeflute from rescuing Mr. Fuji, will properly open up the mid-game for her. I then caught Ghastly on the way up the Pokemon Tower on my way to rescue Mr. Fuji, and then as I progressed through the story, slowly making my way over to the next gym, I had several more instances of pickup to check. TM10. Headbutt? Hidden Power? That's interesting. We've got 3 pickups. This is huge. Pekka Berry, Oranberry, Watmulberry. Unfortunate. I got a PP up from pickup, so that's something. Next up is Erica, which proved to be super annoying for both of our teams. Granted, you don't have to do Erica right here in the Kanto games. One of the beautiful things about these games is that you can do a lot of these later game gyms in pretty much whatever order you want. But remember, Erica holds the level 50 disobedience cap. So we have to beat her as fast as possible to make the rest of this thing easy, because again, I screwed up. Do I really have to keep saying? I feel like you got it. You got it. We got to beat Erica. We got to do it now. I cleared Erica first, which meant I was first up to try to catch the level 30 static Snorlax, but Arlie was unfortunately dealing with some pretty annoying backseaters during her attempts at Erica.
Get out of here, Victory Bell. Victory Bell is ugly. I said it. I said it. Inside and out.
Who said you should have gotten a fire type? I want to ban them.
No, it's just the first time chatter. They don't know.
Did you know that fire types are super effective on grass types? Thought you might not know this, even though your career is Pokemon. Anyway, I'm gonna go build a computer, which is something I'm capable of doing. Did you know people can build computers? Actually, it's only for geniuses.
Yes, I caught Snorlax. Holy moly. Oh.
The speed fall. Nice, nice. Okay, we just gotta hit one more. All right. I have beaten Erica. We could trade back.
I want to give you another taste here at just how bad the Bulbasaur line is against a lot of this game's fights, especially its optional fights, and especially its litany of poison types. I ran into an optional trainer on Cycling Road, and this one accidental battle against a Muck genuinely took me 5 minutes to beat. I want to be clear, I like the design of the Bulbasaur line. I like Ivysaur, I like Venusaur, I like them all, they're great. But why did Game Freak design the game like this? I know that they made the evolutions happen at different times, like you get Venusaur earlier than Blastoise and Charizard, I guess as an attempt to help with the problem that Venusaur has such bad matchups in the mid through late game. But it still sucks. And at this point, I'm just complaining into the void, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna disappear now, bye-bye. Regardless, after making it to Fuchsia, Arlie and I are both gonna head into the Safari Zone. Now, the question is, what do we need to catch here? There are plenty of Pokemon that would be nice to catch here. Parasect, Nidorino, Nidorina, Execute, Venonat, and Venomoth would all save some time, but we can get them elsewhere too. Pinsir, Scyther, and Dratini would also be nice, since they would save us from having to spend even more money in the game corner than we're already gonna have to on just Porygon, but we could in theory get them in the game corner rather than catching them here. But the absolute musts are Rhyhorn, Chansey, Kangaskhan, and Tauros. Rhyhorn is relatively easy to find, but just flees a lot. But if you've ever played the Kanto Safari Zone, you'll know that the other 3 are horrible. I'm not really exaggerating here when I say that these 3 Pokemon will make or break this run. If we can't get them all in a semi-reasonable amount of time, we might not be able to finish this thing at all. But because this is a 2-player run, one of us can spend a ton of time trying to catch these 3, while the other player makes meaningful progress elsewhere. And luckily for me, my partner in this journey is a complete sicko for the Safari Zone. She's a real zone nut. A safari head. if you will. I'm just gonna keep doing the VO. Every year, Arlie subjects herself to a full week of the zone shiny hunting in it. Yes, you heard that right. She shiny hunts in the Safari Zone for an entire week once a year for something called Safari Week, trying to get incredibly rare shinies that can just run away. This search for Chansey, Kangaskhan, and Tauros will honestly be light work for her in comparison. When we talked about this run before doing it, she volunteered to do the Safari Zone, which was a welcome offer since I would literally rather watch paint dry than do it myself. Nonetheless, I present to you our Safari Zone woes, part 1.
Well, gang, we're about to enter truly the worst place on Earth.
Whoa, I love the Safari Zone.
You are welcome to spend all your time here. I don't want to be here even 1 second longer than I have to be. What's the plan for the Safari Zone? Pray to every god you know.
I caught Nidoran male without too much difficulty, and then Execute decided to torment me.
No, don't break out of the ball, you stupid.
Okay.
Mima, was that you?
As you can tell, I'm obviously not a very patient person when it comes to the zone. Again, hence why I'm not the person that's gonna be here for very long. Arlie is the goat. I'll let her handle it. So then Arlie grabbed Nidoran female, and I managed to get revenge on Execute, thank God, and then I also got Nidorino. Then the Safari Zone reminded us who we were dealing with.
I need to go all the way around, I think. Try to catch this.
That would be a good one to get.
Venomoth is a cutie.
I like Venomoth.
She's got those pleading eyes.
Like, don't do this. Don't throw the ball.
Ugh.
Oh, it shook 3 times and broke. Unfortunate.
Venomoth, you're hurting me here. Oh my god. Venomoth, please. Girl, no, stop looking at me. Stop looking at me with those big ass eyes. Stop it. Just get in the ball and stop looking at me. Oh, stop staring at me. Guys, she won't stop watching me carefully. Oh my god. Okay, she wants to have a staring contest, clearly.
You got it! Nice! That's a big win.
The staring contest of the century.
After getting Venomoth, Arlie then caught Nidorina, which means we have both of the middle stages for both of the Nidoran lines, meaning we won't have to do any leveling for either of them, which is really nice. But then, of course, the Safari Zone was right back in it.
Rhyhorn, I'll see you in hell!
Oh my god.
Whoa. Hey, big girl.
Oh, we need that.
Hey, big girl, I like that egg you got.
Okay.
you gotta hit him with the flirt. What you got in that? What you got in that pouch, Chansey? let me handle the Safari Zone, okay?
Yeah, it seems like you've got it all
Trust
under control. Seems like you've got it figured out.
Watch this.
Okay, didn't seem like it went so well.
So look who's back. Back for more. Interesting. Come on, Rhyhorn, I know what you want. You're just scared to commit. There's nothing to be scared of. Rhyhorn. He really said, ha ha! Well, look who decided to show up again. Well, that was fun, Rhyhorn. I hope you had a good time.
Having both now left the Safari Zone, Silph Co was next to tackle, which luckily isn't that bad. Having done many challenge runs and randomizers in this game in the past, quickly clearing this place is pretty easy. However, since I'm running Venusaur at the moment, and the rest of my team is literally like just Meowth, any optional trainers are a bad time. They all have poison or psychic types because they're Team Rocket trainers, which are really bad matchups for Venusaur, and my level 14 Meowth squad isn't really gonna pick up the slack. And during this Silph Co, because I'm a moron, I ran into some truly awful optionals. Having just barely gotten through them by the skin of my teeth, the game rewards me with some more pickups. Wait, we have 2 pickups? This is gonna cure me. If this is a rare candy, all will be forgiven. It was a rare candy!
Yo!
Oh, we're so back! We're so back! Our first rare candy! Huh, a gift! The game provides me with happiness? Amidst the sorrow? I don't know why I'm going poetic mode. I'm gonna slowly go down. I'm gonna move down the screen now, and then voiceover me is gonna talk normal style. Okay, bye-bye. Anyway, after beating the rival, I pick up the free Lapras from the Silph Co worker, which, until these remakes, was the only way to get Lapras in Kanto. As I finish up Silph Co, Arlie swept Koga with Blastoise. I then picked up my 1 free Master Ball, and Arlie was quick to follow right behind, getting hers. As you might imagine, these 2 Master Balls are pretty important, and we're gonna have to be really judicious with when and where we choose to use them. But we'll get to that in a bit. Out of the fighting dojo, I pick up Hitmonlee, meaning Arlie will have to also clear this place and get Hitmonchan, since this is the only place you can get either, and you only get 1 per save file. Using Blastoise, Arlie was able to easily clear Sabrina, which also unlocks level 70 for the trade Pokemon to obey. 70 is higher than any of these Pokemon will really ever get in this run, which means this is ostensibly the end of the annoying trade the starters back and forth thing. Arlie can now safely use Blastoise for the rest of the run. I, however, cannot beat Sabrina with Venusaur, and will have to come up with a different solution. I was, however, able to beat Koga with my newfound levels on Venusaur after Silph Co, which meant we both had acquired Surf use out of battle, which means Zapdos and the Power Plant are up next. In this section, we caught Tentacool, Pikachu, Magikarp, Magneton, Krabby, Magnemite, Electabuzz, which is a really low encounter rate version exclusive in FireRed, so I was pretty happy to get it quickly. Voltorb, one of the static electrodes, which love to explode on you, by the way. And finally, we both arrive at Zapdos. Now, a natural question you might have is why we're both getting Zapdos. After all, only one of us has to. Well, Zapdos is just that good. This thing has really positive matchups on the vast majority of Kanto's Elite Four, which is pretty important because Kanto's Elite Four are probably one of the hardest in franchise history and a huge difficulty spike from the rest of the game. Also, both of us coming to the power plant meant we were able to clear all of the Pokemon in here into the Pokedex pretty quickly, which is super nice. We're not gonna have to come back here at all. But as we head into the Zapdos catch attempts, obviously this is a legendary Pokemon, and its catch rate is really low. Even at 1 HP and fully paralyzed, Zapdos is only like a 3% chance to catch per Ultra Ball. But this isn't the only legendary in the game. There are still 3 more to contend with. So if we can get out of this without either of us using our Master Balls, that would be really massive, because we still have several Pokemon left that are also going to be really difficult to catch. With that in mind, we both locked in to catch this thing with Ultra Balls. The only problem here is that Arlie very recently had a horrible time catching Zapdos this way. In a recent video on her channel, she wanted to shiny hunt Deoxys, and so she needed to keep her Master Ball for that, meaning she had to catch Zapdos in an Ultra Ball during her speedy playthrough of the game. It took her a whopping 2 hours to catch Zapdos for that video. That's really unlucky, and we cannot have a repeat of that here. As we got started, Arlie had some tech already from her recent experience, which is to use the recently caught Magneton to paralyze this thing with Thunder Wave, and then use Sonic Boom to reliably get its HP down into the red. I didn't know about this, but eventually wound up going to catch a Magneton just to do it because it's so consistent. Even still, this was taking us a while. Arlie and I were both struggling, and she said that if this took too long, she'd just use her Master Ball. But I personally was committed to getting this thing in an Ultra Ball since I knew at least Mewtwo and one more legendary bird, again, at least, awaited me personally.
Like recently, I've enjoyed the grass.
All right. Zapdos, can't we all just get along?
He hates us.
He does hate us. I'm on what, 20 minutes now? What did I say? 4:48 was when I started? Arlie, I caught it. Thank you for the Magneton tech. You'll get it soon. Don't even fret about it. The silence is deafening. So yeah, I got pretty lucky, and also just to add insult to injury, my Zapdos also had the perfect nature. Sorry, Arlie. Eventually, Arlie did just wind up throwing her Master Ball, basically committing me to the lion's share of the rest of the legendaries. But she still has to contend with the Safari Zone, so frankly, that's fine by me. I'd rather catch 100 Zapdos in Pokeballs than one single Chansey. And I'm kind of not really joking. With Zapdos in hand, I quickly cleared Sabrina and also went to finally go get the static Eevee. To deal with the 3 evolutions, obviously we get 2 for free, but for the third, we'll use the breeder on the Sevy Islands to handle that. I'll just need a Ditto to breed with my Eevee, and then I can get all 3, even with only 2 games. I then headed to Cinnabar on the way catching Tangela. I gave my Dome Fossil to the researcher in Cinnabar to revive for Kabuto, and then went and got the old Amber from Pewter to get Aerodactyl. I also traded my second Abra for Rayleigh's Mimien, I guess is how you would pronounce it, just south of Pewter. Then, in the Pokemon Mansion on Cinnabar, we caught Grimer, Vulpix, Coughing, and Ditto. We then both easily cleared both Blaine and Giovanni, finishing all 8 badges for both games. I then recovered my Aerodactyl from the lab. Even though we already had Tentacool, I found a higher level one on my way to Seafoam, which is awesome because it means getting Tentacruel will be that much easier. Arlie then picked up her Omanite, and as we were approaching the 6-hour mark, I decided to convert my desk into standing desk mode. And look, I know I said at the beginning of this video that it'd be one sitting, but it's still just one full go. Okay, my knees are bad, okay? So I'm prioritizing my health here. I don't want to see any comments that are like one sitting plus one standing. Because I don't think I can deal with that. I'm very fragile right now. Arlie then picked up Hitmonchan and her own Eevee, and I went into the Seafoam Islands while Arlie headed into Victory Road to get to the end of the game. I caught Psyduck and Seal, and then she got Machoke. Then I caught Golbat, meaning we're not gonna have to evolve Zubat, before entering the next legendary encounter. Again, I was dead set on getting this in an Ultra Ball, since that means I can save my Master Ball for either Mewtwo or Moltres. And unfortunately for Arlie, after just 4 minutes, my determination was rewarded.
All right, Machop with Pod. Now Machop and Machoke.
Nice. I caught Articuno!
Oh my god, bro. The fuck? Okay, why don't you catch Moltres?
Especially because I still had my Master Ball left, Arlie kindly asked that I definitely handle the last 2 remaining legendaries, which again, is fine by me. Immediately after getting Articuno, I caught Horsey and then headed into Victory Road myself, where I snagged Primeape, Arbok, and Marowak. I then returned to just outside the entrance of Victory Road to get Ekans, Fearow, and soon thereafter evolved Charmander into Charmeleon, and then Charizard. Meanwhile, Arlie was finishing her playthrough.
All right, I have defeated the Elite Four. Sorry it took so long. They said it'd never be done.
With Arlie having now completed Pokemon Leaf Green, the game now starts to behave like a great first date and starts to really open up. That's, okay, upon hearing it, that's not supposed to be an innuendo, okay? It's not a double entendre, okay? I meant like conversationally open up, like talk about their families and like want like things they want out of a relationship. Like good communication is the foundation of Arlie then made her way to the Sevy Islands. This is an area added to Kanto in FireRed Leaf Green. We'll both have to spend a ton of time here since a solid amount of catches are locked behind deep progression into this bonus area. I specifically will have to do basically the entirety of the post-game quests found on the Sevy Islands, since in these remakes, Cerulean Cave and Mewtwo access are locked behind completing basically the entire thing. However, having to go through the Sevy Islands is actually kind of nice, because a ton of Pokemon we would have otherwise had to level up or evolve our early game Pokemon into can just be caught here instead. For instance, Arlie caught Bellsprout, Drowsy, a high-level Pidgeotto for easily evolving into Pidgeot without having to evolve our level 3 Pidgey, Hypno, Weepinbell, Slowpoke, and Persian, all while completing the relevant parts of the Sevy Island quest required to get back to mainland Kanto. After all, Arlie needs to go back to mainland Kanto because she has unfinished business in the zone. Soon after re-entering the Safari Zone, Arlie caught Parasect and the elusive Rhyhorn. I then beat my own Kanto adventure, meaning we now both have the game completed with a little over half the decks fully done. Not bad. There's still a long road ahead though. I then began some of my evolutions, handling the easier ones first. Metapod into Butterfree, and Kakuna into Beedrill, before heading off to the Sevy Islands myself and evolving Abra into Kadabra. Also, reminder, most of the Pokemon Arlie needs in the Safari Zone are either 1% or at most 4% to encounter. Just to give you an idea of how long the droughts are between encounters, only for the relevant Pokemon to almost always run away after one ball, here's some delightfully sped up footage of what this grind typically looks like between encounters with the Pokemon you need. But again, for a seasoned Safari Zone veteran such as herself, this is light work.
Sending that lock in here, baby girl, boy. Here we go. Okay, so far, cruising here. I think Pinsir went extinct. This is so sad. Rest in peace. Oh my god, he's back from the dead. Okay. I think I'm just gonna throw a ball, say her name, and she appears truly. Because if I throw a bait and it runs, I'm just gonna feel awful about myself, you know?
Yeah.
Ugh. Don't do that. Perfect. Yeah, I just like to... Ooh! Wow, already. Hello. Hi, queen. Remember, we gotta flirt. Remember?
I forgot about that crucial step.
Your child is beautiful.
What?
I don't know. It's so...
Girl, when was the last time you flirted? Your child is beautiful? Wait, what in the...
Oh my god. At least she's watching carefully. Her child is cute. It's a cute little guy in that pouch.
Your child is beautiful.
People say that when they have a
Crazy
baby.
work. Yeah, sure.
People say that. Of course, she's watching carefully.
Yeah, she's
Oh my
worried
god,
you're gonna-
another one?
She's worried you're gonna steal her kid, bro.
All right, we're doing this again. She's back for more, clearly. Okay. Fun talk.
While Arlie continued working on the nonsense that is the zone, I chipped away at the Sevy Islands questline, along the way catching Sea King, Gyarados, and Goldeen, eventually completing enough of the islands to unlock the National Dex, which is weirdly a required step to unlock Cerulean Cave in these remakes. I then caught Ponyta, evolved Seal into Dugong, and arrived at truly the worst optional trainer pass in maybe the entire franchise. That's crazy! Oh, I Gen 3. Oh, Gen 3.
Because I don't really remember 100% everything. Oh, Pinsir! Buddy.
He says it's on one island somewhere.
You talked. Wait, what did he say?
He said the gemstone is on one island.
So now I think you go to Mount Ember.
So take
which-
Kindle Road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on here, Pinsir. Come on, buddy. Alright, see you later. Kangaskhan, yes. See, people keep saying stuff. Okay, I will bait it, but if it runs away... The main thing is the balls. I'll definitely run out of balls. Oh, Pinsir again. Hi, Queen. How are we doing?
Yeah, you can move in place for encounters, yeah.
Oh, we're breaking out? Oh, we're fleeing? Okay. Hello.
Okay, we're back.
Oh, I caught. Let's
Nice.
go.
Nice, Arlie, yes!
That's literally so huge.
I then beat some Team Rocket grunts to get access to the Ruby, which is one half of the key items I need on the Sevy Islands, before heading up Mount Ember, atop which I'll find Moltres.
To see a lot of gamers, experiencing... Oh, Chansey. Queen, you have never looked better. Can I just say? Can I just say? That's okay, I get it. I came on a little too strong.
You barely came on at all.
I know, I was trying something new. Next time I'll just be silent.
Stream Pokemon often? You have a beautiful child.
I do stream Pokemon often. Yeah. Chansey first try, holy shit.
Let's go!
No f***ing way it just caught.
Yes, dude, yes, Arlie, yes! Let's absolutely go, dude! You have a beautiful child.
Tauros on screen.
Yo, Tauros, your baby, I just can't.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Hit him with the...
Whoa, the hair flip. I don't know if I ever got the hair flip.
Damn, that shit did not work. Okay.
All right, it's Moltres time. My third legendary bird.
You've had great luck with the birds.
So far. Imagine it was shiny. That would go crazy. It's
That
not.
shiny of the three.
Reminder that if I can manage to get Moltres in an Ultra Ball, that'll mean that I'll only have Mewtwo left and I can safely just use the Master Ball there and not even worry about it. But if this does take a while, then I may have to just use my Master. I caught Moltres!
That's crazy shit. That's crazy.
Yippee!
That is crazy.
Yippee! Yippee, hooray! Yippee!
Damn, almost. Okay, almost.
Pretty good. It's also a crazy shiny, I think.
It has a great shiny. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, because I'm curious, like, how much do we have left to catch versus what all do we just need to, like, evolve and trade? Oh. 3 shakes.
While Arlie continued to deal with Tauros, I caught Poliwag and Poliwhirl on 4 Island.
Tauros! We ball it.
We ballin'?
Oh. 3 shakes.
Wow.
What? Girl, that's not about you anymore. What?
Back 1%.
1% back to back like that. Girl. Tauros on screen, by the way.
Yes, Arlie! Yes, dude! Holy, bro! Progressing through the Sevy Islands, I made it to Icefall Cave and met up with Lorelei. There's a 4% encounter for Seadra here in this room that would massively cut down on time, since I won't have to level up my horsey later, but I don't want to spend too much time looking for it because, again, it's 4%. We're both fishing. Oh my god! Yeah, let's go, dude. This is a 4%.
Yo.
With Seadra now very luckily caught, Arlie picked up Dratini, and I also snagged Shelder in here. Arlie looked for Pinsir for a little while longer, but he really wasn't cooperating, so we both figured it'd be easier for her to just bide at the game corner later, especially considering how many trainers we're both gonna have to beat at the end of this thing anyway, just to level up all of our guys. So ultimately, money really shouldn't be an issue. But that does mean that Arlie is officially done in the Safari Zone. She is a literal legend for doing this. I genuinely don't know if I could have done this run if she didn't handle the Safari Zone. She is the GOAT. Please go subscribe to her. Literally goated. I then used Cut on this weird metal door to open it for some reason, and then I almost got the Sapphire and could almost leave before a scientist snatched it out from under me, and I didn't even try to battle him or anything. Just let him go. Why? To get the Sapphire back, which again I have to do to get to Mewtwo, I need to battle my way through the Rocket Warehouse. There's a required fight in here that I really struggled with. I'm gonna show you this battle, basically just because I cannot afford to lose it. I didn't save before the battle, and I didn't know it was gonna be difficult, and I have a lot of money that I absolutely need to buy Pokemon in the game corner in a little bit. I cannot lose this fight because it would mean a ton of time doing extra grinding just for the money I'd lose here. Let's see how it goes.
True. I just don't know what the repel trick would be.
Like 30 something?
$31.
That's fine. Shockwave will kill it, for sure. Nice. Oh, is that our first Slowpoke?
No. I had under-leveled one already.
Ah.
Alright. We get a Sand Slash in Victory Road, it looks like.
Level 30. Okay, we almost have Dodrio.
Airwhack and Sand Slash are 5%.
No way I'm out of revives? Oh. Goody. I'm cooked. Use rare candies? No, dude. Those things are a premium. Don't hyper again, please.
Level 44. I don't have a level 44. Yeah, it's just gonna have to be a 5%.
Not the Meowth levels.
Do we need Marowak, or have you got that already?
I got that already, but we need
Okay.
Cubone.
Oh, interesting.
You just found a shiny Shelder in FireRed. Let's go. That's a crit.
Congrats. That's such a good one. Such a good one. Screams so loud, it's 11:30 p.m.
That's it? Oh, man. Oh, the crit! I'm cooked, bro. I'm gonna lose so much money. Oh, chat, I'm gonna lose so much money. Oh, man. Because you lose half in Gen 3, right? Oh, this
true?
is so grim.
Seven wallet?
Dugong, I've never needed something so badly. Oh my god. Dugong, my goat! My goat! Is that the whole fight? Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
Let's absolutely go, Dugong, my hero. Academia. Arlie then caught Sandslash, I evolved Doduo into Dodrio, and she got Cubone in the Pokemon Tower. I finally made it to the scientist in the warehouse, completing the final piece of the puzzle required here on the Sevy Islands to get Mewtwo. Arlie then got Haunter, and I turned in the Sapphire, giving me access to Cerulean Cave, finally. Oh, also, this.
Ooh, Jesus Christ.
In Cerulean Cave, I caught my own Ditto, meaning I can finally go breed my Eevee without having to trade with Arlie in the meantime to get hers. I immediately headed to the daycare center on the Sevy Islands to finally start this lengthy breeding process to get that third Eevee. Hey, look, it's Mewtwo. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy old pal. Imagine.
Magic.
I mean, I feel like just for the sauce, I should do... Well, no, I mean, I caught all 3 legendary birds. Let's just Master Ball and get on with our lives.
Nah, just get out of there.
All right, Mewtwo. Boom. With Mewtwo taken care of, the vast majority of what we've got left to register are what I would call cleanup Pokemon. I can see the finish line for the first time.
That's good.
Golduck caught. Arlie caught the version-exclusive Magmar that in Gen 1 used to be in the Pokemon Mansion, but is now deep in the Sevy Islands. And then I marked off a bunch of stone evolutions. In order, I did Poliwrath, Vileplume, Arcanine, Clefable, Nidoking, Exeggutor, and Cloyster. Arlie then caught Rapidash, which is a rare encounter that saves us time from having to evolve Ponyta, and then got the Jigglypuff from Pre-Mount Moon that we just skipped earlier. I caught a second Poliwhirl needed for trading, and then we got Muck. I then traded Golduck for Lickitung, and Poliwhirl for Jinx, and Arlie caught Staryu. Then began a trading sequence of getting Pokemon from Arlie's game over to mine so that I could register them and do some trade evolutions. Rather than have us try to simultaneously coordinate which Pokemon to trade when, I decided to handle all this just by myself. Arlie brought her Switch over to my desk, and I handled all of the trades solo, playing both games at the same time. This gave Arlie a much-needed dinner break nearly 11 hours into this stream and allowed me to handle all the stuff I knew I needed to do pretty easily. While I was setting up this trading, I put all of Arlie's rare candies and stone evolutions as held items on the Pokemon I was going to trade over to my game so that I could have all of the rare candies and evolution items necessary, since I'm the one that needs to register all of these evolutions in my decks. I'm not going to detail every single Pokemon I traded here or every single thing I evolved, but basically, in summation, a lot. Everything she caught that I needed to register in my decks, I did, and anything that we had yet to evolve that was pretty easy to do so, I also did. This includes stuff like Alakazam, Gengar, and Machamp, which are trade evolutions, and the stone evolutions for stuff like Flareon for our first evolution, and Nidoqueen, since Arlie had Nidorina and I didn't. Thus began the true final stretch of this run. The grinding section. On the list of Pokemon we need to evolve that have really late evolutions are Dratini, Geodude, Rhyhorn, Tentacool, Pidgeotto, Omanite, Kabuto, and Coughing. Weezing and Graveler are both possible to catch elsewhere, but I never saw a Graveler throughout this entire run despite looking for one, and the 2 Weezing that I did see during this playthrough both used self-destruct before I could catch them. At first when we started this grind, I used the round 2 Elite Four teams up against my Mewtwo to EXP share train Pokemon, since this also gives a ton of money, but it turned out that the better solution was what Arlie was doing. There's this one trainer on the Sevy Islands, and if you use the Versus Seeker, you can just battle her over and over and over again. She gives all right money, but more importantly, her lone Chansey is quick to fight and gives a ton of experience. And you can rematch her pretty quickly. Via these methods, especially with the Pokemon we traded that now gain boosted experience, we evolved Coughing into Weezing, Kabuto into Kabutops, Pidgeotto into Pidgeot, Tentacool into Tentacruel, Geodude into Graveler, and I was able to afford buying Scyther from the Game Corner, which means I don't need to get it in the Safari Zone, even though it's a version exclusive, before I headed to the Sevy Islands myself to join Arlie at her grinding spot. Instead of leveling up Krabby like 20 levels, Arlie went and caught a rare Kingler, and same story for Slowbro. I then evolved Omanite into Omastar, got my Eevee egg from the daycare, took out my other Eevee from the daycare and evolved it into Vaporeon. Arlie bought Pinsir, and then I handled another sizable trade portion to get everything we just caught into my game, including evolving Graveler into Golem. This was more or less just to see where we were actually at and what we were definitely missing. Plus, although it feels like 5 seconds ago in this video that we just did the last trade portion, in real time, it was like 2 hours ago. It just goes to show you, this grinding takes forever. In the moment, reminder, we had been streaming this whole thing to our Twitch channels and we'd been live for a long time. So in my mind, like in my memory, this grinding portion was like 40 minutes, but no. All in all, grinding all these evolutions at the end of the run here was like 4 hours. 4 hours. Dragonite, why? I then went to Resort Gorgeous, where there are 2 trainers that you can use the Versus Seeker on that give absolutely ludicrous money. but not a ton of experience. I did this just so that I could afford the insane 9,999 coin Porygon in the game corner. 500 coins is 10,000 Pokédollars, meaning between this and Scyther, I spent like 250,000 Pokédollars in the Celadon game corner. My plan was then to evolve Dratini into Dragonair, while Arlie leveled up Rhyhorn a good bit. Once both of these Pokemon were within spitting distance of their final evolutions, I would then trade the Rhyhorn over to my game, and finally use my 20 plus rare candies to get them both across the finish line, completing 2 of the absolute worst evolutions in the game. Using this method, after nearly 4 hours in total of grinding levels and money, we finally managed to finish leveling everything up. Second to last was Dragonite, and then after trading Rhyhorn to my game so that I could register it first, I evolved it into Rhydon. We now sat at 149 out of the 150 total required Pokemon to register in my Pokedex. For some reason, just because this is how it shook out with the weird on-the-fly routing we did, the final Pokemon is Jolteon. It's nothing special, I just need to hatch the Eevee egg that even after hours of riding my bike back and forth to get the Versus Seeker to work, to battle all those trainers over and over and over again, somehow, still, the egg isn't even close to hatching. So I just have to ride the bike a ton to hatch this egg and give it a Thunderstone and evolve it into Jolteon and be done with this thing. Again, I wish it were a more exciting final Pokemon, but that's not what we got. $150 out of 150. Jolteon is our final Pokemon. This took so much longer than it needed to, but I had a blast. And I'm very proud of us. Time is gonna end when I get the diploma. Shout out Jolteon. Level 5 Jolteon. 150 seen and 150 owned. Your Pokedex is entirely complete. Congratulations. Let's go.
Yep,
Probably
it's that
this
guy
guy
right there.
Boom, time.
14 hours, 10 minutes, and 38 seconds.
I have never gotten a diploma in one of the older games before. In any of the the Pokemon games of my childhood, of my youth, I've never gotten the diploma. So to do it in one sitting with my best friend, this is very cool. Now time for National Dex. Get out of here, bro! What are you talking about? And just like that, it was over. 14 hours of gaming comes to a close with the diploma in hand. Obviously, this could be done faster, without the starter kerfuffle at the beginning or with an actual route where you follow diligent notes on when to catch certain Pokemon and when to evolve others. Yes, you could do this more quickly, but the way we did it was, in my opinion, far more fun. Arlie and I genuinely had a ton of fun doing this, and thank you to everybody that watched our Twitch streams live. This was a long stream, and some people stuck around for literally the entire thing. This was a blast. All in all, this was just an incredibly fun day filled with playing Pokemon with my favorite person. I really can't complain. I will say this though, if Game Freak decides to keep doing this and releasing more of these Pokemon games onto the Switch, Arlie and I will be back, especially if they put the Hoenn games on the Switch. We will absolutely return and do this again for the regional decks found in Hoenn. But all in all, this was an amazing experience, and if you enjoyed any part of this video, it was genuinely so difficult to make at every part of the process, from the very beginning to the very end. So please consider subscribing, leaving a like, and heck, maybe even a comment. Anyway, go subscribe to Arlie also, and I'll catch you next time.